While watching, I was constantly thinking about two things. Firstly, I was surprised at how competently they created and were able to reduce Jean Dujardin on the screen. The effect is achieved through the skillful use of doubles and computer graphics. Of course, sometimes it looks unnatural, but to the point for the most part. My second thought was the following: what would have happened to the plot if Alexander had not been so perfect? I mean, if his character had any flaws, would Diana have been able to ignore his advances? In terms of the plot of Up for Love, there is nothing to surprise the viewer with, because, despite the unconventionality of the main character, the love story itself is very, very simple. Nevertheless, what cannot be taken away from the film is its trademark French lightness. Perhaps the frogs are really more free in love and its manifestations. Alexander's vertical insufficiency could be another tear-jerker on the topic of a hard life not like us, but Laurent deftly bypasses this. The hero of Dujardin in the film is the most charming man who is loved by others. Only once will Alexander reveal to his son that people don't like it so easily when you breathe into their navel. And even in this shot, Dujardin will smile so warmly that it becomes clear that we are not talking about tragedy, but about strength of character. The main character of the film is a sweet girl named Diana. She works as a lawyer with her ex-husband Bruno. The film begins with a tired Diana coming home. She intends to take a relaxing bath, but she is distracted by a phone call. On the other end of the line, someone named Alexander tells her that he has found her mobile phone. He starts a casual conversation with the heroine, and eventually Diana agrees to a date with him. The next day, Diana meets with Alexander and can't help but notice that his height is just over a meter. Otherwise, Alexander is a pleasant and charming man. He returns the phone and suggests that Diana cancel her business for today and continues their date elsewhere. Diana agrees and ends up strapped to Alexander in a small plane. Together they make a parachute jump. Diana is delighted with this adventure and they agree to call somehow. Up for Love is a sweet, touching, and light French comedy about love and what people love for their actions, not for their appearance. Alexander is great in society, knows how to present himself. He is a famous architect and has many friends. Diana has to rethink a lot in herself in order to accept him as he is. It is necessary to be free from prejudice, and not to hammer the standards of society into your head. The movie ends as suddenly as it begins. It is filled with the spirit of France, summer and sunshine. Diana and Alexander begin a romantic relationship, and soon Bruno finds out about it. He naturally teases his ex-wife, who is already restless at the thought that she is dating a dwarf. Alexander also works as an architect and has achieved serious success in his business. At the moment, he is building a new theater building. He also has an adult son who loves him very much. One day, Alexander starts a serious conversation with Diana about the fact that she hides him from her friends and family. Diana hurries to justify herself and invites Alexander to the exhibition, where she is going to go with her mother and stepfather. At the exhibition, Alexander charms Diana's parents, but the girl herself is nervous all evening. Soon she confesses to her mother that she is dating Alexander, and this upsets her very much. However, after talking to her husband, who suffers from hearing problems, she changes her mind. Diana had already managed to break up with Alexander at this time. She could not overcome herself and ignore the constant glances of others. Diana and Alexander continued to live their lives, but their thoughts were occupied only with each other. At the end of the film, Diana realized that she could not live without him and jumped with a parachute directly to his construction site, where she confessed her love to Alexander. It ended with their kiss. We all know in theory what charm is. We can't explain it in words, but we feel when a charming person is next to us. So if someone needs to explain what a charming person is, show him this movie and point your finger at Dujardin's character. Alexander is a walking charm. Every gesture, every look, every smile. Why the main character Diana quickly fell in love with him is immediately understood. It's not like you're sitting there and thinking, what's wrong with him? How can you meet with such a person? You look at him, listen to what he says, and you yourself involuntarily fall in love. There is so much charisma, kindness, inner light, sincerity in him. Of course, this is, first of all, the merit of Gene. He generously shared his charisma with his hero. In fact, if another actor had been in his place, the film would have turned out completely different and, I dare say, much worse. I won't say that he pulled everything out alone. No, Virginie Ether is also good in her own way in her role, but if someone else had been taken instead of her, I don't think the film would have lost catastrophically, but take Dujardin out of there. In general, the creators did not lose that they took it. Here they hit the nail on the head. It's hard to break away from the film, because it lures with its simplicity and romance. There are no deep thoughts and reasoning here. There is a common question, could you? I don't even know if I could be so brave, go against the stupid tradition that has developed. It's unlikely, but the main character could. The author of the movie, I think, wanted to convey to the viewer that it is not worth living with stereotypes. You need to do what you want yourself, without paying attention to the condemning looks of strangers. You can't divide the world into white and black, good and bad, because there are exceptions everywhere. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support is very much needed.